which can be moved continuously. It regulates the opening of a valve. Another is the handle of a switch, which has only two operations. It is either off or on. A third is the handle of a brake lever. The harder one pulls on it, the harder the braking. A fourth is the handle of a pump. It has an effect only so long as it's moved to and fro. 13. If we say, every word of a language signifies something, we've so far said nothing whatever, unless we explain exactly what distinction we wish to make. It might be, of course, that we wanted to distinguish the words of language 8 from words without meaning, such as occur in Lewis Carroll's poems, or words like tra-la-la in a song. 14. Suppose someone said, all tools serve to modify something. A hammer modifies the position of a nail, a saw the shape of a board, and so on. And what's modified by a rule, a glue pot, and nails? Our knowledge of a thing's length, the temperature of the glue, and the solidity of a box. Would anything be gained by this assimilation of expressions? 15. The word signify is perhaps most straightforwardly applied when the name is actually a mark on the object signified. Suppose that the tools A uses in building bear certain marks. When A shows his assistant such a mark, the assistant brings the tool that has that mark on it. In this way, and in more or less similar ways, a name signifies a thing and is given to a thing. When philosophizing, it will often prove useful to say to ourselves, naming something is rather like attaching a name tag to a thing. 16. What about the colour samples that A shows to B? Are they part of the language? Well, it is as you please. They do not belong to spoken language. Yet when I say to someone, pronounce the word the, you will also count the second the as part of the sentence. Yet it has a role just like that of a colour sample in language game 8. That is, it's a sample of what the other is meant to say. It's most natural and causes least confusion if we count the samples as tools of a language. 17. We could say, in language 8 we have different kinds of word. For the functions of the word slab and the word block are more alike than those of slab and D. But how we group words into kinds will depend on the aim of the classification and on our own inclination. Think of the different points of view according to which one can classify tools into kinds of tools, or chess pieces into kinds of chess pieces. 18. Don't let it bother you that languages 2 and 8 consist only of orders. If you want to say, they're therefore incomplete, ask yourself whether our own language is complete, whether it was so before the symbolism of chemistry and the notation of the infinitesimal calculus were incorporated into it. For these are, so to speak, suburbs of our language. And how many houses or streets does it take before a town begins to be a town? Our language can be regarded as an ancient city, a maze of little streets and squares, of old and new houses, of houses with extensions from various periods, and all this surrounded by a multitude of new suburbs with straight and regular streets